Hello, my dear friends. I am Rohinth, 2018 batch of IRS. I hope you all are preparing really well for your preliminary exam, which is coming in the next month. I really wish everyone all the success in the world. And having experienced this examination myself multiple times, I have accumulated certain experiences, and I would like to share the same with you, along with some final moment tips, which can come in handy for you. So, firstly, I would like to say that this exam is a marathon in itself. It's a 1 year long exam process, and 1 year before that, you would have started preparation. So, it's a very long process. So, I would suggest that everyone enjoy it, otherwise, it will become really difficult. You have to enjoy the process, you have to enjoy the marathon, you have to enjoy the run. But however, in the final stages, you do accelerate, right? You have to push so that you win the race. So the same way, you have to put in certain little extra effort in the final moments. So to begin with, I would say that in this final last 1 month, I suggest you all to take at least 3 mock exams, because otherwise you won't get into that groove. So 3 mock tests is a definite one. So at the same time, while you're taking those mock exams, you should apply yourself. You should imagine that you are in a exam hall and this is the D-Day. So in that environment, you create that environment for yourself, and then you mark your answers. So that is number one. Secondly, I suggest that all of you revise current affairs before going to the exam. So current affairs you would have read throughout the year, or maybe 2 years, or whatever span you've been preparing for, but you won't remember that. And it is very important that you remember a lot of details, because one question will make a difference. So you need to prepare this current affairs aspect really well. So for that, what I used to do is I used to make notes. At the same time, some PDF capsules are published by various coaching institutes, so you can use any of them, and it will come in really handy, because you can't you can't reread all the newspapers that you have read throughout the year. So having these capsules is reading these PDFs for each month will be very handy. I used to do the same, and I recommend that you also do the same. So, but however, I would not suggest that not reading newspapers entirely and instead just going for this final PDF. That is not, as I told you, it's a marathon. So that is not the way to go about it. So I suggest you keep reading the newspaper, and don't specifically focus at the last 1 month for prelims alone, because we have to remember that our goal is to reach the final merit list, and for that we need to have a constant preparation. So don't leave out the newspaper or any information that can come in handy for your mains and interview. So you have to keep on reading newspaper. Rest, maybe you can avoid reading some syllabus portions which are not there for prelims in this last 1 month, but definitely newspaper you should continue, and this everyone should follow, I suggest. Then number 3, how to plan your day or this entire 1 month. What I used to do is I used to give focus to 3 things, that is newspaper, current affairs, and some static syllabus portion. So I used to divide my day in these three subjects. So I used to start with newspaper for say 3 hours a day, and then go on to current affairs for the next 3 hours, and then again another 3 hours after some break for static portion. Or you can mix it up as you like. You can put 1.5 hours each, and then again go for a second round. So that way you can do, or you can increase the time. It's up to you how you manage it, but I used to do this way. So that everything gets covered, and there's a mix of subjects that you are studying in a day, and at the same time there's a revision happening for different things, so you don't feel like you're studying the same thing repetitively throughout the day. So just to keep it a little interesting, I used to do this mix and match. So during this last 1 month and for the whole preparation, I would say that you need to be stress free, because otherwise you won't give your 100%, you won't give your you won't live up to your full potential on the day of exam, because a lot of other things, random thoughts like what will happen if I don't clear this prelims, what will happen if I don't clear the final stage, all those things, these thoughts will just pull you down, it will just bog you down, it won't let you perform to your full potential. So I suggest that you need to keep these thoughts away, you need to be de-stressed, you need to be very relaxed, because only then you will be able to focus completely and you will be able to give your best. So just do your part, do your preparation, don't focus on the results, don't expect anything. I know it is really hard, but that is the truth, because otherwise the expectations you have, the focus on results, all these things will pull you down and it won't let you perform to your fullest potential. So my suggestion is, don't focus on the results, just keep going along the path of preparation and enjoy this process. Think that you are learning something new, you'll be a better person at the end of the day, you'll be a wiser person, and this information will help you in some way or the other. Maybe you might not clear this exam, but some other door will open up for you. But definitely this, at the end of the day, at the end of the preparation, you will be a better person, you'll be a more wiser person. So it will never go waste. So just enjoy the process and have belief that you deserve this and eventually you'll clear this. But just don't get bogged down at any stage thinking about the outcome. And subsequently, talking about how to memorize stuff, what I used to do is I used to make small notes, let's say about some books and the author of that particular book with regards to history I'm talking. So there'll be many books and many dramas and so many things, right? So I used to make a list of all of them and I used to stick it on the wall. Similarly, there are a lot of world organizations, regional groups. We would not be able to remember all of the member nations. So for that you can use some mnemonics, and the same I used to make some small notes and stick it on the wall, so that whenever I walk past it, I just have a glance and just it's in front of me. So visually I keep seeing certain things, so I may remember. It's there throughout the year. So but if you have not done it till now, at least in this final 1 month, I suggest you do it, because these things can keep recurring. So that is very important, and we don't want to miss out on something which everyone else has prepared, and we know that there is a good chance that it can repeat or something similar in the same pattern can come again. So we don't want to miss out on those things. So these I would suggest you cover as part of the static syllabus. And lastly, at this time of exam, I would suggest that you attempt as many questions as possible, because if you attempt very less, then you are already out of the race. But if you attempt a certain number of questions, say I used to consider a safe number to be 85 out of 100. So if you do that, then probably you are still in the race, and more number of questions you attempt, there's more number of chances that you're getting more questions right. And don't fumble with the fact that there's a negative marking. Don't look at the negative aspect. Don't focus too much on that. You ensure that you deliberately make those attempts. Don't blindly mark the answers, but have some deliberation. For this, what I suggest is, first time when you go through the question paper, just have a glance at it, see what all questions are there, and so that sometimes what happens is that one question's answer can be found in some other question. So for that sake, just have a glance in the first 5 minutes, and then subsequently you start off. And questions where you know the answer directly, that this is the option that I'm going to mark, you mark it off straight away in the first round of reading. Then you, at the same time while going through, if you know that you're stuck between two options, then you make a symbol, say let's say a round or something. And questions where you are stuck between three options, you make a triangle. It's likewise. And questions where you have no idea about what could be the answer, you're stuck between all four options, you make a square or something. So this is just an idea that I can give, so that you know where to focus on. If you're stuck between two options, you have better chances. You have 50% chance of getting the right answer. So you might as well do that first instead of going for a question where you are stuck between four options, right? So the chances of clearing that is getting the correct answer there is less. So you make some symbol of that sort, and when you, after you have done reading the whole paper, you can come back to those questions where you're stuck between two options, give that priority. Then again you come back to questions where you're stuck between three options. Likewise, then if you have time, you can focus on the questions of where you're stuck between four options. So this way you can prioritize your questions, and you can finish your question paper in a faster way. And also, don't spend too much time. You remember that you have 100 questions and there is a limited amount of time, so divide the time you have per question, per mark, and then go about it. That way you will know that, okay, for this question I can allot only this much time. So in the first iteration, don't exceed it. As fast as you can do it, just go ahead. Otherwise you will have very less time, and later on you'll require that amount of time which you have saved up to ponder over other questions, to think over other questions. So I wish you all the best, all the very best, everyone. Put in your efforts and the results will flow. Don't worry about anything. Don't have the negativity. Just stay motivated, just stay sharp. And in this marathon, this is the first this is the very beginning of the marathon, so keep going, and I'm sure all of you will do well. See you at the other end. All the very best.